Well, hello.
Well,
How's it going?
it's going. It's really going. Yeah. Um, Happy New Year, sir.
Yes, Happy New Year to you too. And Happy New Year to everyone else.
Yes, everyone in the chat, everyone isn't in the chat, just watching because I see the numbers like slowly creeping up. Um, we are definitely live here on YouTube and on Kick and on Twitch. Are you there also, Rekkr?
Uh, Not yet.
He's working on it. To answer your question, hold on one second. I've got a question here. Will you tackle Sun Tzu next? You mean The Art of War? That happens to be Rekkr's favorite book. No, he has not challenged me to do that book with him yet, but don't
It
give him any ideas, please.
it's
Please.
kind of
Because
funny because it's my favorite book that I've never read.
he's, ah, yeah, maybe I should challenge you then. So who knows? If we get through all 48 laws, it could be an idea. I'm going to jot that down, student. Let's see. But it's
Mm-hmm.
funny you said it because he brings this book up all the time, but he's never read it.
I've so I it's from what I understand, it's just a bunch of quotes, and I, I've
Huh.
I've heard a bunch of the quotes,
Yeah. Hmm.
so I
Well,
vicariously like it.
hey, Jean. Welcome. Hey, Purple. Thank you for being here in all the places you are. And you too, Rocket Couch. Thank you so much for checking modding over there in Twitch. I appreciate you guys so much. I appreciate all the mods so much. Like, I really do. I hope you all are stepping into the new year with just a sense of fresh air, like a refreshment, like a shaking off of the old year. Let's leave it behind us and look forward to what adventures we can get into, in 2026. At
And
least
the
that's how I'm
chaos
looking
as
at.
well.
Yeah. The Alchemist is a good book, student. I like that's a good one.
Uh,
And now we have joined Twitch in Kick for Rekkr's channels also. Okay, there we go. So
yes,
now we're good to go. We're all set, right?
yes, we
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. So I don't know. This chapter, well, it's not as upsetting as some of the chapters that you've had to kind of cajole me into actually completing with you.
Drag
Um,
you through.
Yes, because let's just tell everybody, just in case it's their first time, that the premise of this series is the 48 Laws written by Robert Greene was done quite a while ago. It's quite controversial. It's kind of business mindseted on power and how to like get there, no holes barred, like, whatever. In its laws on what you should do to get your power, keep your power, and make sure no one has power over you. And the challenge that was presented to me by Rekkr was to go over the book and all and try to make it more relatable to now and also kind of like
Real
um,
life.
real life, everyday life. So sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, you know. But some of the laws, like this one, which is Law 20, um, they do and they don't, because like some of the things that you would definitely see a very good purpose and use and very good structure and strategy for business, or when you're trying to accomplish any kind of group endeavor where you're dealing with a group of people and you've got to like learn personalities and do this and do that, and you end up doing a little, I guess, what is the game playing, you got to be in the game. Okay. um
Exactly.
which is not something I would advocate for in our private and personal lives, our family, our friends, our one on one intimate relationships. It's not a good long term strategy. None of these laws work long term in real life. Okay.
No.
So, on that premise, shall I bring up what this law is about? Because
Yeah.
This one gets me because you know me, I've got only a few laws, like in my personal life. This one is a bit offensive. It's like, oh, wrong feet. There we go. So I'll let you break the news to them.
So, this law, this one is Law 20, and it is about not committing to anyone, apparently. The law,
Anyone.
yes. The law explains it is the fool who always rushes to take sides. Do not commit to any side or cause but yourself. By maintaining your independence, you become the master of others, playing people against one another, making them pursue you.
And hmm, at first glance, you would say, what do you mean no commitment to others? What about marriage, intimate relationships, trust and respect, friendships that last a long time, commitment to family, and, job responsibilities? Like, at first glance, you're like, no way, this law doesn't work. But it's not what they're talking about exactly, is it? They're talking about some of the things that happen in everyday life to all of us, right? On a more
Mm-hmm.
broader scale, aren't we talking about the squabbles, the issues, the fights, the white versus black, the red, the blue, the yes, the no? How sometimes not actually picking a side is the strongest power point, the power move that you can make, right? Just stand your ground. Don't jump to one side or the other right away.
Be a
I mean,
fence sitter before you take a side. The
yes,
fence
like
might
that.
be pointy and it might hurt your butt for a little bit, but it gets easier.
I have to tell you that that is my standard apparatus modi. Like the what I do the most is fence sit on something, and I get called out a lot for it. It's because I want all the information first. Like um I believe in supporting my friends. I also believe in telling my friends when they're wrong. I believe that integrity matters. Um, if you do something that I don't agree with, Rek, I probably still support you and I'll listen to you, but you're going to know my opinion on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not going to not say anything. But I'm not going to let people publicly tear you apart either. But I'm not going to be defending if you do something immoral or with lax. I mean, people make mistakes, but I would probably advocate for that and for listening to your side of it. But may not go out there like waving the flag and banner and you know, beating a drum for you if I don't agree with the issue. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. I actually
Or
have a really good example of why uh, being sitting in the middle ground before you actually make a move is the best option.
okay, let's hear it.
It's the train example. Would you run over three people or one person if you had to
Well,
pick?
you mean the trolley? Oh, you know what?
The trolley problem.
That trolley problem is just insane because there is no right answer unless, of course, you manipulate the track and it goes somewhere else.
Well, there is.
Um, but
It
you need
just
all the
depends on the
information.
variables.
Right, it's the variables. In like when
So,
they first ask you the question, you don't have any of them.
well, when you're first asked the question, the logical answer is you kill the one person. Of course, always. It's the one person is,
See, that's
well,
not a good
one
answer for
person.
me.
It's not a good answer either way. But if it's one person versus three or five people, then yeah, absolutely. It You would ultimately have to pick the one person. Um where it starts to break down is, well, what if that one person had the cure to cancer and the 5 people were criminals? Petty criminals.
Right. Then you try to bring moral issues into it, people's boundaries, integrities, like where they stand on issues, and then it gets really, really messy, doesn't it?
Well, uh, I I still think it's pretty easy at that point. If the person is the cure for cancer, fuck the 5 people. They shouldn't have
Oh yeah,
committed
you
crimes.
sure? Unless, of course, you believe that life is sacred and all life
Oh,
matters, and even criminals
absolutely.
can be redeemed, and then you're in a hell of a mess, aren't you?
No, you're
Like
not.
when I say it's messy, it's messy. It's
It's
messy.
you. You're not in. There's. It's not really that messy because, well, once again, now you're faced with the ability to save millions, billions of people versus 5 people who are petty criminals.
Unless, of course, you're a major conspiracist and you don't believe that that person can cure cancer. They're just saying it because they
Oh
want to
no,
be
it's
a
guaranteed,
millionaire,
100%. There's no,
and they're just
there's no
saying
question
whatever
about
to.
it.
Yeah, well, that's what you. I still say it's messy because some people believe that a life is a life.
Oh,
Like for
absolutely.
those people, this is not an easy thing. Whether that person that's just saying, well, you're smarter and good looking, so you should like. Let's take cancer out of it because I
No.
know if we got to take cancer out of it because Rekkr, you're putting cancer in there because it's a key thing that people are going to be like hands down,
What
like no way.
it
Let's
it
normalize it a little bit. The value of a life. That's like saying, well, that one's
mhm.
blonde and blue eyed, so they have a higher value than the 5 criminals, or vice versa. Like it depends on how you value life and where you put the value. You're saying that because this person can do greater good for the world, so to speak,
Mhm.
that they should be saved.
Absolutely.
But there will be a whole faction of the world, guaranteed, that will say life is sacred. You cannot assign a value on whose life is greater than anyone's,
And
regardless.
I will say this exactly. Life is sacred. I want to save as many lives as possible. If it means that I have to kill 5 people to save multiple millions upon or billions, I will do it.
And you would make a great president, then. I would not, because I hesitate to take out the 5, because those lives are sacred too. And who am I to say that one of those 5 won't actually be the person who brings peace to Israel and Palestine? Who am I to say that one of those 5 doesn't actually father the next genius on our planet that solves multiple issues, not just cancer? Like, I don't have a God complex. I admit I can't see the future. And when I assign value to a life, I understand the parameters of how far I can go in that thinking onto what the future will behold.
Okay, I'll
I
make it
mean, for all
easier.
we know, for all you know, let me just put it to you this way: you save the life of the one, you kill the 5. One of those was was going to be the father of the next president who solved all our problems in the country, and the person who actually is going to be creating the cure for cancer walks out and gets run over by a car and had the USB with all the information in his pocket, and it's destroyed for life.
No,
Like,
the
so
guy who's going to cure cancer is guaranteed. There's no way. Nothing else can happen to him.
see, you
He
keep
just
adding
goes
these
straight to
variables. They don't
because that's
exist
it.
in the
He
question.
cures cancer.
No,
If he gets killed after getting out of there, then he hasn't cured cancer. That it then he doesn't cure cancer. So it doesn't matter either way. I'm saying he cures cancer.
this
Before
could
he
go
dies, he
again.
cures cancer.
Okay, I'm just saying it's still a very difficult. I'm still sitting on the fence, and you can't get me to answer the question. I don't care.
Okay.
You can tell me he's curing cancer, and
Mhm.
I still am hesitating because life has value, and
It
I
does.
can't.
It absolutely does. It does have value. That's why I want him to cure cancer.
Yeah, but why are you taking the other 5's life? You're actually saying
They're
they have no
criminals.
value.
Fuck them.
They're redeemable. They still will might follow
Absolutely,
a
they are
dude.
absolutely redeemable. I if if I was a criminal and I had to pick between myself or the guy who was going to cure cancer, I'm going.
Wow.
I I would
Self-sacrificing
rather I
everything.
would rather
You
the
see,
guy who's going to cure cancer survive than me.
well, I applaud you. Now you made me look like a real asshole because I don't want to kill the cat. But anyway, I'm just saying, on the other side of the argument, there's always going to be people that aren't going to go with it. The trolley question is a moral question and a societal question that just causes discourse. You know, you know what I mean? Um, I don't know.
I I don't
It's
necessarily think
tough
it,
for me.
it. I think it would only be a moral question if it was like the single person is one of the nicest people in the entire world,
It's
and the
definitely an
five
ethical
people are
question.
like assholes.
It's an ethical question. And it definitely has many layers to it. But we need to move on from it because it's unanswerable in this context about commitment. Okay. Um, but there's a question in the chat: is Lori De Belvallo redeemable? At this stage in her life, where she is right now, I do not believe so,
Is
Mrs.
she on some train
Cassandra.
tracks?
But if she actually came but understood what she did and would apologize for it and actually try to redeem herself, then yes. I think everybody is redeemable with self-reflection, honesty, and integrity if they move forward. But currently, in the state that she's in right now, she's pure evil. And I doubt that she would redeem herself. But the possibility, I am the kind of person who always believes that there is that chance, and I'm not taking it away from anyone. Does that make any sense? I mean, she's horrible. So is Letitia Stosh and everyone, like all these people we cover in true crime. Absolutely, don't really have anything nice to say about them. But am I going to be judge and jury to the point that I have like this God complex that thinks that I know whether or not they can do any good in the end? Absolutely not. I'm never going to go that far. I'm not, because there's always that possibility. You're right, student. That's the problem. Hypotheticals are just that, unanswerable. Like, they just keep moving around in circles. I don't. But that's the thing with fence sitting. It at least gives you the time to take in all the information. Correct? Yes, it does make sense, Miss. But I do agree with you. In looking at her current state, in the current situation, it would be reasonable for people to say she's a lost cause. It's reasonable, absolutely, and I understand why people say it. You know, but I just give a nod to the possibility. I, hmm. I mean, you guys have all been around me for a long time. I really am against absolutes. Am I not? Like, Rekkr? Like, I don't like when
Yes.
people say the word never, because I'm like, you're just calling the universe to prove you wrong. You seriously are. Don't
Oh,
ever say
absolutely.
never. Absolutes to me, well, they're difficult. They're difficult. Because life is messy and situations matter. And there's always variables, which we just proved with the trolley question. Or
Not
with our
really.
absolutely awful misinterpretation and take on the trolley question. We absolutely just proved that, did we not, Rick? We did.
I guess so. I'm still taking out the five people.
And you know what? That's your right. I'm not going to judge you for it. Like, I actually, I admire people that can stand with their conviction that way. You would make a great president. You would be able to make very, very tough decisions. These life and death decisions that I would be a lousy president. I cannot do that. I cannot decide that we should risk thousands of people in war to accomplish something. Like, I would hesitate a lot. I would wave back and forth. I couldn't make that decision. You would. You'd say, okay, um, it's for the greater good. It's going to save millions. Boom, blow them the hell up. Like you could do it. I I have difficulty with it, but I know myself well enough to know that I do have difficulty with it. So I'm not going to run for president. Doesn't that make you feel better?
Fair. You would make
So
the most interesting president, though.
I, I, you know, not to toot my own horn, but I make the most interesting anything. To tell you the truth, just like you never know what you're going to get. I just can't contain myself. Like I just can't. I just can't. Mm. Pretty much what Groucho Marx said. I don't want to be a member of any club that would have me as a member. Yes, yes, Chin. I hear you. I hear you with that one. Okay. Okay. Moving forward. That was you,
Oh,
Rick. Are you
okay.
there?
Part
Yeah.
one.
Moving.
Part one. Do not commit to anyone, but be uh, courted by all. If you allow people to feel they possess you to any degree, you lose all power over them. By not committing your affections, they will they will only try harder to win you over. Stay aloof, and you gain the power that comes from their attention and frustrated desires. Pay the vir- Play the Virgin Queen, give them hope, but no satisfaction. Historical example: Queen Elizabeth I. Observance of the law.
Okay. So I shall read the story for you. All
Mm.
right. From the book, the example that Robert Greene gives us is Queen Elizabeth I. And I love reading about Queen Elizabeth, but like, here we go. Ready? So indulge me, people. When Queen Elizabeth I ascended the throne of England in 1558, there was much to do about her finding a husband. The issue was debated in Parliament and was a main topic of conversation among Englishmen of all classes. They often disagreed as to whom she should marry, but everyone thought she should marry as soon as possible, for a queen must have a king and must bear heirs for the kingdom. The debates raged on for years. Meanwhile, the most handsome and eligible bachelors in the realm, like Sir Robert Dudley and the Earl of Essex and Sir Walter Raleigh, vied for Elizabeth's hand. She did not discourage them, but she seemed to be in no hurry, and her hints as to which man might be her favorite often contradicted each other. In 1566, Parliament sent a delegation to Elizabeth, urging her to marry before she was too old to bear children. She did not argue, nor did she discourage the delegation, but she remained a virgin nonetheless. The delicate game that Elizabeth played with the suitors slowly made her the subject of innumerable sexual fantasies and the object of cultish worship. The court physician, Simon Forman, used his diary to describe his dreams of deflowering her. Painters represented her as Diana and other goddesses, and the poet Edmund Spenser and others wrote eulogies to the Virgin Queen. She was referred to as the world's empress, that virtuous Virgo who rules the world and sets the stars in motion. In conversation with her, her many male suitors would employ bold sexual innuendo, a dare that Elizabeth did not discourage. She did all she could to stir their interest and simultaneously kept them at bay. Throughout Europe, kings and princes knew what a marriage with Elizabeth would seal an alliance between England and any nation. The King of Spain wooed her, as did the Prince of Sweden and the Archduke of Austria. She politely refused them all. The great diplomatic issue of Elizabeth's day was posed by the revolt of the Flemish and Dutch lowlands, which were then possessions of Spain. Should England break its alliance with Spain and choose France as its main ally on the continent, thereby encouraging Flemish and Dutch independence? By 1570, it had come to seem that an alliance with France would be England's wisest course. France had two eligible men of noble blood, the Dukes of Anjou and Alençon, the brothers of the French king. Would either of them marry Elizabeth? Both had advantages, and Elizabeth kept the hopes of both alive. The issue simmered for years. The Duke of Anjou made several visits to England. He kissed Elizabeth in public, even called her by pet names, and she appeared to requite his affections. Meanwhile, as she flirted with the two brothers, a treaty was signed that sealed peace between France and England. By 1582, Elizabeth felt that she could break off the courtship. In the case of the Duke of Anjou in particular, she did so with great relief. For the sake of diplomacy, she had allowed herself to be courted by a man whose presence she could not stand and whom she found physically repulsive. Once peace between France and England was secure, she dropped the unctuous Duke as politely as she could. By this time, Elizabeth was too old to bear children. She was accordingly able to live the rest of her life as she desired, and she died the Virgin Queen. She left no direct heir, but ruled through a period of incomparable peace and cultural fertility. Oh, the wording there. Mm. Mm. Elizabeth is a good example of just keep them in the realms of possibility and don't commit. I don't really recommend this on a personal level, but if you're in politics or running a country, it's a good idea. I don't like when women present themselves with the female wiles to try to court multiple people at the same time and do all of that. But there's no denying it works in the courts, in the royal courts. There's no doubt it works in politics. When you petition both sides, everybody wants your vote. So you say what you got to both sides until you decide who's going to win, and then you go this way or that way. I mean, as repulsive as this law is to a personal relationship, like man and woman or friendship or even family, we would not use it as blatantly as Elizabeth did. But it does have its strategy and uses in business and in trying to get groups of people to agree with you, and also getting your best deal or option in, well, negotiating a raise, negotiating employment, in negotiating in general. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. If you happen to be a king or queen of a country or a president or something, the best idea is to play the middle ground to some extent.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I agree. Um, I you know, I think it's important to let people know where you're coming from to commit to your your ideas, your boundaries, your expectations. I think those levels of commitment are absolutely necessary in personal relationships. You
Oh
know,
yeah. In
uh,
personal relationships is a whole other story.
right. And we're trying to get this law to work in personal relationships, and I can say it will work in the beginning, but it's not a long-term strategy. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the friend that it, everyone has that friend who goes out for breakfast for with one person, lunch with another, and dinner with a completely a different person entirely.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the serial dater. Yes.
The very serial data.
Oh, and I could guarantee that that person has lists that they keep, pros and cons and checklist. Like, yeah,
And they
yes, okay,
and the
yeah.
and the and the and they like to talk to you about one how this one guy ticks nearly every single box except one. And it's always the most petty box as well. And they're just like, I can't date him.
It's ridiculous. I don't,
And,
I think people like that narrow themselves into a box and eliminate their opportunities for happiness in
and
contentment. Yeah.
and they're always the person that goes, why won't anyone date me?
Well,
Or
they're
why
not
can't
actually
I
dating
find
for love, are they?
someone?
They're dating with purpose. If they just want to get married and breed, like just do it. Like just be upfront about it. Like, just say you don't
Just
need all the other things. Because like all those other things, I can assure you, the heart wants what the heart wants. And if you actually fall in love or have that connection with somebody, that list means nothing after a while. Because
oh yeah.
true commitment in a true honest relationship required all it requires is the willingness.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? It's like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, the willingness to work together to make it agreeable for both of you. I mean, that's true growth. Like that's like all those how-to books on how to get a guy and how to get married before you're 30 and like what actually true happiness looks like in a relationship. It's all bullshit because it's so subjective to the individual. It's a fucking impossible. If people are making millions on it too.
You know what those books
Yeah.
are great for?
Fire starters.
That or paperweights.
Mm, yeah. We sound a little
Actually,
kidding,
no. I've got a
right?
better idea
To
for
make
them.
all the money, but
I,
still.
I actually have a much better idea for them.
And what is that?
They're,
Yeah.
they're excellent for evening out chairs. If one side's wobbling, just shove a few pages under, glue it in, perfect.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Fix the
Well,
relationship. You in the
mm,
chair.
no, no. I mean, there is some. I think that this law has a more broader appeal when it comes to what did you call it? Fence sitting, like what we call neutrality in situations. Um, I can assure you, if you're asking me out on a date and we're having coffee, like you best not ask me if I want to have children and do I plan on ever marrying, or and please don't ask me what I'm looking for in a man. Please don't ask me that because I can assure you,
These are
I already know
questions
you
that
don't
people
actually.
ask.
Yeah, they do. Some idiots actually. Excuse me. I feel strongly about this one. Some idiots actually do. And I can assure you, if you're asking me those questions, you don't actually care about my answers. You really don't. If I tell you what I'm looking for a man, you're just going to pretend to be that for whatever freaking reason. Like, no, you're not coming from a genuine place. And you just need to, like, thanks for the cup of coffee. Step off now, please. Like, bye. Like, yes, see you. Like, yeah, don't expect the
Mm-hmm.
return call. And don't ask me if we can exchange numbers. You're not going to want to hear the answer. You're not going to want to hear what I have to say after that. Because like people are so disingenuine. Like when people approach you with an agenda, I can respect it if they're honest about it, if they're actually out front and honest about it. I can respect that because then it lets me know about it and I have the choice to whether participate in this agenda or not. But if you think you're gonna like manipulate me into all this bullshit, no, I don't think so.
I
Like,
think
no.
I know one situation where asking those questions would actually be valid.
In a
If the
gynecologist's office?
I I, I mean, I, those conversations are
This is Cassandra. Are you counting? I got him to stutter for the first time in 2026. Write that one down. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Go.
just. How's the oil change going down there? By the way, what do you find? What are you looking for in a woman?
That's exactly. Okay. I'm sorry I took you off track. When are those questions approved? Like, when would they be acceptable?
If it's prefixed with saying, "I'm going to save us both time," are you what, and then proceeding to ask those questions. And if it doesn't line up with the person with them,
I get
and they
that.
say okay,
Yes, like a woman approaching it like,
or a
all
man,
right, let me save you some, or a man saying, let me save you some times. X age, I would like to be married by Blump, and I do plan on having children.
yep.
That is an honest discourse, you know. I do like, let's save you some time, and then you're like, well, you know, you can.
Oh,
You
and
can
and and the most important question anyone should ever ask: Batman or Superman?
Oh, I hate that question because the answer is always Spider-Man. Come on, like no, Spider-Man,
Yes,
Spider-Man. It's my answer every time. Or Iron Man. Tell me I'm wrong, and I'll even push it
Iron
farther.
Man's.
Huh. Daredevil. Daredevil.
Yeah.
There you go. That guy gets me.
The Punisher.
He scares the hell out of me, but I admire him.
He's like one of those guys who you would keep around because you know if you ever in trouble, he's the one
Yes.
that's going to prison, not you.
Would I accept his phone number? Absolutely. Would I hope I never have to use it? Absolutely. Like, yes. Yes. We're so totally off track here. But it's actually still on track when you think about it. It actually is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Wolverine, the fast healing alone is worth it. Well, this is true because it's a rough world, Jen. You got a valid, fair point there. Fair point. Deadpool, there's no other. You know what? If I'm looking for entertainment for the rest of my life and just, yes, Deadpool's the answer. I would never be bored. You right? I mean, how could you ever be bored with Deadpool around?
I feel like one of the first practical jokes he would play on you is shaking your hand, and once you pull away, his hand is in your hand, but instead of it being like a fake plastic one, it's actually his hand.
Oh, and it squeezes you? Like, oh my god. Like, no.
No,
No.
it's just severed.
No. I don't think I'd recover. Like that would be I don't, like that no. Where does I have no idea where this is coming from. I don't even want to ask. I think we should just move on. This is getting weird.
Hey, if I had infinite healing abilities, the whole world would go, everyone around me would be terrified.
Well, you are a menace.
Yes. Now imagine me being able to amputate body parts.
I don't
Exactly.
I know you would be beating people with them. I know that.
If someone asked me if they could get a hand, I'm giving them a hand.
And not in a good way, I assure you. You're right, Jean. His sarcasm is sublime unless it's only on you. Unless it's like you're the target relentlessly, and then it's not so cool. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, KT King, good to see you, love. Yeah. Okay. Now, would you read the quote? I think we should. I think we need a.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
I would rather be a beggar and single than a queen and married. Elizabeth I.
And that was because she had more power. Like, let's be honest. As soon as Elizabeth would have married, who would have been the ipso facto ruler after that? In that day and age, they would all look to the king, correct? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Should be no more than a chattel, and no more than just the bearer of the child, the next heir, you know. And she also had good reason to be wary of this whole situation. Did not her cousin, Mary Queen of Scots, marry, and her husband immediately try to eliminate her so he could be king? And did she not marry and then cause a huge feud in Scotland between the Christians and the Protestants because she had to choose a man of one religion or the other. So by not fence sitting, Mary, Queen of Scots, pretty much put her own life in danger and divided her country.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. In those days, getting married was probably a bad option for a ruler who actually wanted to rule, if she was female.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Elizabeth is one of the success stories of not buckling under the pressure and using it as the long game successfully. Even when she was well past childbearing age, she still was courted because even if you weren't going to have an heir, an elderly king or a king looking to acquire land or a treaty with England could marry her and take things over. So she was
Mm-hmm.
she still had suitors, you know, not as young, not as affectionate, but strategically. People still vied for her attention, still vied for her commitment one way or another in treaty and not with their countries. Um, she carried she carried huge weight in huge respect. And she's one of the most fascinating queens. She really is.
Isn't she? Isn't her reign always called the Golden Age?
It was in the Golden Age. It is. It was very peaceful. It was, absolutely. Her keeping her independence, which was almost an impossible thing to do in that day and age, um, built her power. So for her, this law was perfect. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She had only two goals during her whole reign. One, avoid marriage. Two, avoid war. And she did both successfully.
Mm-hmm.
It is
See you,
very
student.
successful. Have a good night.
Yes. She really. I mean, she really did do a lot for England for the time.
Mm-hmm. And she did. And she set a precedent that the later Queen Elizabeth actually also went through. Although she did marry and have children, she never lost her independence. She never made the king, her husband, the de facto king. You know, she never bowed down to the pressures of not being independent and keeping her sovereignty, her sovereignty. You know what I mean? Like she did not.
Mm-hmm.
She was independent. She was a mechanic and a horsewoman, and she did it her way. They had a nice long reign with her also, a very productive one. So you know, came from good blood stock, I would say. Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
All right. So on that, I'll let you read. From the book, they actually give us always an image and an authority. And there aren't very many really attractive pictures of Elizabeth out there because, like, we didn't get photographs. They were all done by artists and painters and, remakes and things like that. Um, but for the time, this is what they thought was extremely beautiful. And by the way, she was a redhead. I did. In the
Explains a lot.
movies. What? Would you like to clarify that, Coleman?
No, I'm just gonna leave it to linger.
You just leave. Well, then you better start reading.
The image. The Virgin Queen, the center of attention, desire, and worship, never succumbing to one suitor or the other. The Virgin Queen keeps them all revolving around her like planets, unable to leave her orbit, but never getting any closer to her.
Ooh.
And the authority is, do not commit yourself to anybody or anything, for that is to be a slave to every man. Above all, Keep yourself free from commitments and obligations. They are the device of another to get you into his power
Hmm.
or
All of
her
that may
power.
be true. True. And all of that may be true. That's one of my favorite quoters in the book is Battlestar Gracia. Green uses him a lot. And even though this statement is true, it's impossible to do.
Yep, pretty much.
Um, One cannot have a happy, contented life or great success without making some commitments, even if they're to yourself. Ha! There's the monkey wrench I was throwing in, Rekkr, that I didn't warn you about. That without commitment, we float endlessly, aimlessly, with no place to land. We never have a clear thought. We never have any convictions. We never have any fortitude. We don't even know where to draw our boundaries. It is impossible to go through life without any commitment to anything, even to anyone, because you at least need to be committed to yourself, to your own health, well being, and goals. And that
Exactly.
commitment will drive you forth and give you great power. And it starts there. And that's why I say bullshit to law 20.
Mm-hmm. Fair
Sorry.
enough.
Sorry, not sorry. Yes, it works in strategic things, you know, like if I
Mm-hmm.
was queen and wanted to just keep people dangling and I don't want to decide. But let's just say that law 20 is a situational law. It is not a life law. It is not an always works law. It's not an every time law. It is a situation, a purposeful law. It's only for certain situations and certain things that you want to accomplish. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
And to go a little further with what you said about committing to yourself, um, you absolutely should look after yourself first and foremost, because if you're not looking after yourself, you can't do anything else at all. You If your health deteriorates, there's nothing else you can do.
Right. No, I get it. What I do understand that, like, you got to be a little bit flexible about it, right? Like,
Oh, absolutely.
with all of these laws, like, there's no, and that's the thing. This law actually shows you straight out. Without that flexibility, without honoring both sides, you can't make educated decisions. You can't, you don't want to pre-commit to things when other things are going to come forward.
Yeah, can you imagine committing to taking out the single person and finding out that they had the cure for cancer?
I didn't do that. I said I wouldn't decide.
Well, not you,
No, I know. I'm saying, but that's why, like,
but
why? Like,
yeah.
because I'm like, my gosh, like, the weight of it, like, yeah. To me, it was an unanswerable thing. Seriously, right?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to give us more examples.
Part 2. Do not commit to anyone. Stay above the fray. Do not let do not let people drag you into their petty fights and squabbles. Words to live by.
Hmm.
Seem interested and supportive, but find a way to remain neutral. Let others do the fighting while you stand back, watch, and wait. When the fighting, uh, when the fighting parties are good and tired, they will be ripe for the picking. You can make it a practice, in fact, to stir up quarrels between other people and then offer to mediate, gaining power as the go between.
That
Historical examples: Isabel d'Este.
is, I'm going to read you her story, but let me just say that I do not recommend that you just go through life trying to stir up all this stuff. Who's got time for that? But this is
That
really, really good example of like this law onto it. Don't just jump in. Like, your best friend gets into an argument with someone. It's not unreasonable to say and listen to your best friend and be supportive, but I wouldn't jump on there defending them like they're absolutely right until you know the whole situation. Because people are human and people make mistakes, and everyone is different, and just because they're your best friend, you may have a different idea about the situation than they do, and that's fine. You could still support them and not agree with them, but you wouldn't be out there like I said before, right? Regulate, like beating a
hmm
drum and holding a banner in support, you know.
Oh yeah.
Um, mm,
You know what's
because
really sad though? I would put money on the fact that someone's read that and said and been in a situation where they've probably ruined a marriage just to test the law.
well, what do you mean?
I could 100% see someone after reading this go, my friend and her husband, or my friend and his wife, or whatever variation you want to go by, are in such a nice place right now. Why don't I just throw a spanner in the works
Let's see if it's
and
real or
see
they're
what
just,
happens?
yeah, yeah. Like, let's see if it's real or it's fake. Like, it can't be fake. Like, nobody gets along that well. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Let's
I
see
mean,
how strong this marriage is.
no, or not even a marriage. Like, what about just like
Oh,
streamers, like you and
friendship.
I, or streamers that do stuff together, or groups of friends and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I mean, come on. If people see like how well we do a stream together, you don't think that people try to? I mean, we know for a fact people try to throw a monkey wrench in it, don't they?
Oh, so many people love doing that. There's so
I
many,
have I
so
have
many
had it
people are just
happen
like, "Hey, you
time
want to hear some of this juicy gossip I know about this person?" Yeah.
and you know what they really love when you say no.
Yep.
Yep. And then all of a sudden they're, I'm just trying to help you out, turns into, you're my enemy. Like, oh my God. Why? Because
Why
I don't
don't
want
you
to
want
get
to hear my
dragged into your
gossip?
gossip fest. Yeah, because I don't want to get dragged into your fight with people that I don't even know. I don't think so. Like, no. Like, I don't know the situation, and I don't need to know the situation because it's not my business and I wasn't involved. You know? Well, anyway, let's give an example from the book.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Greene gives us Isabella d'Este. So, in the late 15th century, the strongest city states in Italy, Venice and Florence and Rome and Milan, found themselves constantly squabbling. Hovering above their struggles were the nations of France and Spain, ready to grab whatever they could from the weakened Italian powers. And trapped in the middle was the small state of Mantua, ruled by the young Duke Gianfresca Gonzaga. Mantua was strategically located in northern Italy, and it seemed only a matter of time before one of the powers swallowed it up and it ceased to exist as an independent kingdom. Gonzaga was a fierce warrior and a skilled commander of troops, and he became a kind of mercenary general for whatever side paid him best. In the year 1490, he married Isabella d'Este, daughter of the ruler of another small Italian duchy, Ferrara. Since he now spent most of his time away from Mantua, it fell to Isabella to rule on his steed. Isabella's first true test as ruler came in 1498 when King Louis XII of France was preparing armies to attack Milan. In their usual perfidious fashion, the Italian states immediately looked for ways to profit from Milan's difficulties. Pope Alexander VI promised not to intervene, thereby giving the French carte blanche. The Venetians signaled that they would not help Milan either, and in exchange for this, they hoped the French would give them Mantua. The ruler of Milan, Lodovico Sforza, suddenly found himself alone and abandoned. He turned to Isabella d'Este, one of his closest friends, also rumored to be his lover, and begged her to persuade Duke Gonzaga to come to his aid. Isabella tried, but her husband balked, for he saw Sforza's cause is hopeless, and so in 1499 Louis swooped down on Milan and took it with ease. Isabella now faced a dilemma. If she stayed loyal to Lodovico, the French would now move against her. But if instead she allied herself with France, she would make enemies elsewhere in Italy, compromising Mantua once Louis eventually withdrew. And if she looked to Venice or Rome for help, they would simply swallow up Mantua under the cloak of coming to her aid. Yet she had to do something. The mighty king of France was breathing down her neck, so she decided to befriend him, as she had befriended Lodovico Sforza before him. With alluring gifts, witty, intelligent letters, and the possibility of her company, for Isabella was famous as a woman of incomparable beauty and charm. In 1500, Louis invited Isabella to a great party in Milan to celebrate his victory. Leonardo da Vinci built an enormous mechanical lion for the affair, and when the lion opened its mouth, it spewed fresh lilies, the symbols of French royalty. At the party, Isabella wore one of her celebrated dresses. She had by far the largest wardrobe of any of the Italian princesses. And just as she had hoped, she charmed and captivated Louis, who ignored all the other ladies vying for his attention. She soon became his constant companion, and in exchange for her friendship, he pledged to protect Mantua's independence from Venice. As one danger receded, however, another more worrying one arose, this time from the south, in the form of Cesare Borgia. Starting in 1500, Borgia had marched steadily northward, gobbling up all the small kingdoms in his path in the name of his father, Pope Alexander. Isabella understood Cesare perfectly. He could be neither trusted nor in any way offended. He had to be cajoled and kept at arm's length. Isabella began by sending him gifts, falcons and prize dogs, and perfumes and dozens of masks, which she knew he always wore when he walked the streets of Rome. She sent messengers with flattering greetings, although these messengers also acted as her spies. At one point, Cesare asked if he could house some troops in Mantua. Isabella managed to dissuade him politely, knowing full well that once those troops were quartered in the city, they would never leave. Even while Isabella was charming Cesare, she convinced everyone around her to take care never to utter a harsh word about him, since he had spies everywhere and would use the slightest pretext for invasion. When Isabella had a child, she asked Cesare to be the godfather. She even dangled in front of him the possibility of a marriage between her family and his. Somehow it all worked, for although elsewhere he seized everything in his path, he spared Mantua. In 1503, Caesar's father Alexander died. And a few years later, the new Pope, Julius II, went to war to drive the French troops from Italy. When the ruler, Ferrara, Alfonso, Isabella's brother, sided with the French, Julius decided to attack and humble him. Once again, Isabella found herself in the middle, the Pope on one side, the French and her brother on the other. She dared not ally herself with either, but to offend either would be equally disastrous. Again, she played the double game at which she had become so expert. On the one hand, she got her husband, Gonzaga, to fight for the Pope, knowing he would not fight very hard. And on the other, she let the French troops pass through Mantua to come to Ferrara's aid, while she publicly complained that the French had invaded her territory. She privately supplied them with valuable information. To make the invasion plausible to Julius, she even had the French pretend to plunder Mantua. It worked once again, and the Pope left Mantua alone. In 1513, after a lengthy siege, Julius defeated Ferrara, and the French troops withdrew. Worn out by the effort, the Pope died a few months later. With his death, the nightmarish cycle of battles and petty squabbles began to repeat itself. A great deal changed in Italy during Isabella's reign. Popes came and went. Caesar Borgia rose and then fell. Venice lost its empire. Milan was invaded. Florence fell into decline, and Rome was sacked by the Habsburg Emperor Charles V. Through all this, tiny Mantua not only survived, but thrived. Its court, the envy of Italy, its wealth and sovereignty would remain intact for a century after Isabella's death in 1539. Well, that was a woman who understood politics.
Very much so.
Yeah. The Italy political situation at that time was wow. And for her to understand it that clearly, like that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But man, she was working overtime with keeping everybody happy.
You can say that again.
Like she didn't get a moment's peace, you know.
She's probably signing documents in her sleep.
But she brought the whole kingdom safely through, no matter what. They never lost power. They never lost. They never got invaded, taken over. You know, none of it. But she didn't interfere either. She let them fight all around her.
Mm-hmm.
But she successfully did not let them drag her into it. She gave them just enough to stay out of it. So by acknowledging what was going on, by acknowledging their side, by listening to them, but she never really committed to one side or the other.
You want to know what I think her main goal was?
Survival?
I think that was just a result of it. She just wanted to sit back, relax, and eat some popcorn and watch the whole world burn.
True, except for she had to do a lot to keep a distance. So, yeah.
But popcorn, though. What would you keep an entire nation happy just to be able to sit back and eat popcorn?
Yeah, but based on all she had to do, I doubt she had very few popcorn moments. But when she did, I'm sure they were wonderful.
I could only imagine how great they must have been. Oh no, my neighbors are fighting again. Chef, yeah, I want kettle corn this time. Extra butter, not too much salt. Maybe some more sugar than normal. Yeah, that's good.
On to the quote, Rekkr. On to the quote.
Part 2. Do not commit to anyone.
No.
Oh wait, no, that's
the quote.
That one.
At the bottom.
Yes.
Yeah. It's okay.
When the snipe and the mussel struggle, the fisherman gets the benefit. An ancient Chinese saying, when the snipe and the mussel struggle.
I think a snipe is a type of fish or a type of, in mussel struggle. In other words, the fisherman gets the benefit, because they'll do each other in, and he gets to catch them both.
I'm trying to think how a mussel would fight. They're filter feeders. They just sort of open their mouth and filter.
I don't think the Chinese meant it to be that deep.
Who knows? Maybe they knew something back then.
Maybe. It could be. But I do think Isabella is a good example of how you play both sides without letting the other know. Because this is also very dangerous, because at the time she was doing all this, everything was so crazy. If anyone had a clue that she was playing both sides in manipulating them, it would be all over. It would be all over.
Oh, yeah.
It's a game of finesse, and this is a law that's not to be done very lightly. you know, just like all of the manipulative laws, which there are
Mm-hmm.
quite a few. We're not even halfway through, and I'd say the majority of them involve manipulation and taking advantage of people in some way or another for your own gain. And that has to be very selective. And there are warnings throughout the book about that, believe it or not. Not that many people focus on that when they talk about the book. Uh, Normally, when you see anything about the 48th law, it's all about, you know, how it's taking advantage of people, and you know, it's a you got to fight for yourself and only care what you need and only care what you want and always be working on your goal no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a way to be successful, but once you get there, what do you got left?
Exactly.
um in Success is only as long as the road you take. And that is a very twisted saying that I learned a long time ago, meaning it is good to have goals and endeavors and to get there, but the steps that you take on that road, they will all come back to you, because you're going to take the road in one direction all the way to the top, but you're going to have to walk that same road down again, and you're going to come across those same people and those same situations. So what you've done to get there really matters in the end. It's
Mm-hmm.
going to depend on whether you get to keep it and how long. It's going to depend on whether people work with you ever again. I mean, the worst thing you can do in business or in any situation where you're trying to move forward or get people to agree with you to either finance a situation, vote for something, get a new job, you know, stand up for you in some way. The worst thing that can happen is you to have the reputation of only manipulating people to your own gains. Because that circle of people that are willing to do all of this becomes smaller and smaller and smaller until it's just you.
Exactly.
Yeah, so all of these laws need to be looked at with some trepidation. And I can say that, especially if you're going to try to apply them to your personal lives. I do not ever advocate for manipulating and abusing people to your own end. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. You know, um, is it successful? Yeah. Can you hold for 1 second? I'll be right back. Okay.
That's a good question. Who could you who would you be morally okay with manipulating to get to your destination? Anyone? I think there's a few. Yeah, I think there's some people that would be. It would be justified in doing so.
Oh,
Yes.
I missed the first part of that.
Uh, who would be moral? Um who would be all right to manipulate to get to where you need to go? Either like a
Um,
specific person or a kind of person.
well, it depends on the manipulation, also. You know. Yep.
Exactly.
Hmm. One of our chatters is Scottish royalty. It seems to be King Hill.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. JCH 369. That's amazing.
my mother bloodline, my grandfather was 368th in line to England's crown. Uh, my hyphenated name, King Hill. Hey,
It's the Scots.
368 people, that's those are some doable numbers.
Yeah,
With enough
you never know.
determination?
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, let's get to this image and all so that we can get to our questions because they're fascinating.
Okay. A thicket of shrubs in the forest. A thicket of shrubs in the forest. One shrub latches on to another. Uh, in into
What is that English? Wait a minute. What
in
happened? Hold on. I'll get you the translation. What we didn't
Nah, this
entangling
isn't.
its neighbor. It's
That's not
entangling.
English. That's not even a word. I refuse to believe
Okay.
that some kind.
All right.
It's
Okay.
that's
I'll read
someone
this
had a
one.
stroke while typing this. Did you have a stroke while typing this, Claire?
I may have. I'm thinking of shrubs. In the forest, one shrub latches onto another, entangling its neighbor with its thorns. The thicket
Entangling the neighbor
slowly
with its thorns.
extended its impenetrable domain. Only what keeps its distance and stands apart can grow and rise above the thicket. Yes. You could do the other one. I think it's in English.
Yep.
Sorry. I'm going to have to fix that.
I thought you were speaking Scottish for a little bit.
I don't know
Typing in
what
Scottish.
that was.
Actually, no. That spelling is too normal for it to be Scottish.
What it is copy
Is
and
it
paste.
Scottish or
If
Irish?
it's Gaelic.
Gaelic,
It is no
that's the one.
Scottish or Irish.
The
Okay.
one where
It-
they've got 50 goddamn letters to say it.
Okay. What it is copy and paste. Because in the book, I often get the PDF and I try to copy whatever the image or the authority says to put it on the picture. And sometimes, well, when we were busy talking about other things instead of proofreading the slides before the stream. So lesson learned. That like, okay, you need to proofread my slides better. But it's not blaming it on you. It was definitely my mistake. But
It's not your
yeah.
fault either. It's just whoever wrote this.
No, it actually
We'll
in the
just
book
blame
it's
our
in English.
editors. Yep.
It's in the book, it's in English. Like I just yeah.
Okay,
Anyway.
we'll blame the book.
Yeah, whatever. Just read the authority.
Regarding it as as more courageous not to become involved in an engagement than to win in battle, and where there is already one interfering fool, take care that there shall not be two.
Okay. So in other words, just be careful. And I agree with
Yes.
this. It's not often like, getting in between things like sometimes it's not the best thing. I mean, definitely. Um until you have all the information. You know what I mean? So now we
Well,
get
you
to
want
the
to
fun
see the
part.
forest for the trees, right?
Exactly. Mhm. Oh, yes,
That's how that
it's a way
saying
of
goes,
looking at
right?
it. Hmm. So question number one to add to the fun. What are the guiding principles behind not taking sides? Well, that's what we were just talking about. Like making sure you
Exactly.
have all the information first. Not defending someone just because you know them, and without looking at the whole situation. Um, One of the other principles is like, especially if it's not your fight, you don't want to give your credibility and integrity to one side or the other when it really doesn't involve you. Unfair advantage? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I don't. I mean, there are times when you want to stick up for people. Of course, you don't want anyone bullied or harassed. You don't want any wrong to happen to anybody. That's not what we're
Of
talking
course
about
not.
here. We're just talking squabbles, disagreements, right and wrong. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't feel like, let's say politics. Okay, always a
Mm-hmm.
tough thing. You
Now,
you you're either
our show's now been limited.
I know, but I did it and you didn't. I just took the
Fair.
bullet for you.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's right. I should have done it. My bad.
No,
I'll do better
no,
next time.
no, I don't know.
I'll get us. I'll get us. Oh, you know what? I'll do one better next time. I'll get us fully demonetized.
Although once you got our stream pulled, like I forget what it was, but it
It
was a
was my proudest
misunderstanding.
moment.
It was a misunderstanding. We got it back anyway.
I don't know
Um,
what the moment was, but I'm proud of it.
it's just such a menace. But anyway, the guiding principles would be not to give up your principles. In other words, you want to make sure in you don't want anybody hurt or anything like that. And I do believe in standing up for things, but make sure it's an issue that you can stand behind and that it's a conviction that you actually carry. Then I don't see any problem with it. But eliminating the other side or saying that this is right and that is wrong when it comes to just opinions in like politics and religion and stuff like that, lifestyle choices, um there really is no benefit in picking a side
No,
because,
there's
well, not for
only
me anyway, because I don't want to be that judgmental. I don't put myself above other people to think that I know what is right for everyone else. Does that make
well,
sense?
yeah. No, it makes perfect sense. Also, like you want to remain somewhat impartial to scenarios to be able to be fair to anyone involved. Like
Hmm.
if two people are having a squabble and you let's make it easy. You turn around the corner and you see two people fighting. A bigger guy is just knocking the hell out of a smaller guy. You're instantly thinking, well, this bigger guy is a complete twat. We should
Hmm.
stop him. But we don't know. But what you don't know is that that little guy was the one that actually instigated it by
Yeah, and has a
swinging at
knife.
him with
Yeah,
a lead
a
pipe,
knife, like, or a
or
pipe,
came at him
or
with
some
a
kind of
yeah,
weapon. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Without all the information, you cannot actually choose a side appropriately.
yeah. And especially in some parts of America, it could be completely life changing because certain certain laws allow you to protect people. I can't remember exactly what it was, but what it is. But you're allowed to defend a person who is perceived to be in a more vulnerable situation.
Mm-hmm.
And
Like I
if
said,
you pick
yeah,
wrong, then well,
you need to have the information. Exactly. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Well, yes, it was a good question. I like question number two. Do you want to read that one?
Can you recall a time you wish you stayed neutral in a situation?
I can answer that one for you straight out. I have regretted every time that someone asked me for advice or to weigh in on the romantic situation when they're having an argument with their other half.
There's no one.
There's no winning, right?
No,
Because if they break
there's
up, it's your fault. If they stay together, well, you said something terrible about the other party and they go and tell them, and now everybody's mad at you. Like, there's no winning. There's no winning if you weigh in that way at
I
all.
guess to be fair, you could look at it this way. If they stay together and they end up blaming you, you kind of, help their relationship get stronger.
No, not
I mean,
exactly. Because the next time they fight, say it's my girlfriend, she brings up, oh, Claire said this about you and she was right. Yeah, no, it's not good. It's not good. Then they're throwing your name and what you said around like a weapon. No, it's never good. It's never good. Even if they
fair.
stay together. Even if they stay together. Plus, it's not up to me. Like, it's not up to me what they do. And I'm only getting one side. If I'm listening to my friend, I'm only getting one side of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
I will listen to them. I'll let them cry their eyes out. I'll let them complain, but I'm not weighing in on what to do about anything. Mm-mm. Nope. Nope.
Yep.
I mean, can you recall a time you wish you stayed neutral? What kind of situation it was?
Yeah. A friend was ironically, a friend was complaining to me about their relationship and um, and how how do I put it? How how clingy their partner was, and how much their partner wanted to be in their business all the time, 24/7, no matter what. And apparently they got into multiple fights about it and stuff like that. And I said, well, I mean, um, I just straight out asked them, why do you think that's Why do you think why do you think they're feeling that kind of vulnerable? And they said, I don't know. They, I haven't done anything wrong. And then I find out about 5 minutes into them explaining this long story that they've been sleeping with 12 other people. And I slapped them across the face.
Oh man, so I guess you did wish you stayed neutral though, like didn't tell him, like, well,
Yeah, I was trying to encourage him throughout the whole thing, um, to stick with how he feels and his gut feeling until the part where he
yeah, like she
said that
was
he'd
being
been
intrusive,
sleeping around with a whole bunch of
she
people,
all,
and I was
yeah,
just like,
like no wonder she didn't trust him, and she wanted to know where he was all the time. Because whenever
yep,
he wasn't with her, he was obviously doing things he shouldn't be doing.
yeah, exactly.
See, this is why you need all the information. And even when you have all the information, sometimes you should stay out of it. Because
Mm-hmm.
even though you told your friend he was wrong, blah, 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 and then he gets back with her and then she attacks you for being so mean to him. It wasn't any of your business. And how could you treat him so bad? Like, I'm telling you, don't get in between partners like ever.
Yeah, anyone that's listening specifically right now, if anyone asks you for dating advice, tell them that there's plenty of books out there. Just don't answer it. Just push it off onto some. Get them to ask another friend. Tell them that Steve often has some really good ideas and that you've
Yeah,
got
yeah,
no clue.
exactly.
I don't Steve. He may be a drinker, and he may, you know, every so often get a few speeding tickets and
But
be a
he's
little
at
bit
least willing to
misogynistic,
weigh
but
in.
he's great. He's great for answering those kinds of questions.
Exactly, Mrs.
But
Cassandra. It was rather inconvenient to try to sleep with 12 other people when my girlfriend actually wants to know everything I'm doing and who I'm doing it with.
yeah,
Exactly. Like, how dare she cramp my style by like making it more difficult for me to cheat on her without her knowing about it? Like, she's definitely gonna know about it.
it's just like, oh, jeez.
Mm. Okay, what's the next one?
Um, does Law 20 assume a darker view of human nature, that everyone is trying to use you, or can it be practiced without becoming cynical?
I think at first look, it does have a dark connotation. I mean, I took it that way. I was like, like for me, commitment is everything. Like respect and honesty are them things.
Mm-hmm.
And that requires commitment, a commitment to respect the person, a commitment to honesty, a commitment to the relationship, or to, you know, keep the boundaries. Um, so not to have that, it does kind of say like, yeah, these are the worst of people that won't want to commit. The player, the serial
Mm-hmm.
cheater, there's always the there's always going to be something better out there. Why would I commit? Person.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the whole use of the law. Like, am I going to sign a 10-year contract with a job that just is good enough? No.
Nope.
I'm going to limit my commitment, right? Like, there is purpose to their law. So I don't think it has to be so cynical. Like, it is not that cynical. It's subjective to the situation. It matters
Absolutely.
where you're using it, on how much is it cynical for personal relationships? Absolutely. They don't pull this crap with me. You're not going to get very far. But as far as business applications or group endeavors, it could be very useful. And as far as navigating the social world, especially online, it's extremely useful. Like, I vote for this law, hand down, when it comes
Mm-hmm.
with dealing with the social platforms.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Because how many times have we seen like some kind of drama happen on YouTube, and at first it sounds like one person is just an absolute goddamn nightmare of a human being, and then you find out that actually it's the other person that's been like
It's is that
scamming
other,
every single person around them.
is it that like one of the YouTube laws? Never make a judgment based on the first video. Mm-mm.
Yep.
More's coming. More's coming out. Do not make a decision based on the first video. Wait, wait till you hear the rest of it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like when I research true crime. Do I ever make my opinion based on the first brief I read or the first article I read about a case? No. Like, there's so much more. Like, no, you can't. Kind of like the video I just did about the Somali child care crisis. you
Exactly.
know if you just go on face value and believe whatever like a video says, and don't go a little further, like, you make some really bad assumptions.
Exactly. You're
Yeah,
the. I mean, the main assumption is you just have to be straight racist. You just
exactly.
have to be like, well, this entire group are doing this particular thing, and it's
Yes.
like, how, what?
Because
Yeah,
that's like the He-Man Woman Haters Club. Like, just because one woman cheated on you doesn't mean we're all cheaters. It's just like the
yeah,
He-Man Haters Club. Just because one man is a scoundrel doesn't mean every man is a scoundrel, right?
exactly,
It's just like, it's ridiculous when you make judgments in generalities like that. You're gonna always be wrong the majority of the time. You're gonna be wrong 80% of the time and right 20% of the time, on average,
mm-hmm.
right? I forget the name of that law, but yeah.
The 80-20 rule.
The 80/20 rule. Okay. So, how does Law 20 show up in social media drama when creators stay neutral while their fan bases are at war? Oh my God. Oh, this is where it could be detrimental out here. Like, we use it, right? But when big creators, like, do I have to say the name? Oh my gosh, I will.
I know who you're gonna say.
There's two.
Would you like me to say it?
I'm gonna name three, like two of the biggest: Asmongold in Hassan Abi, and they're on different platforms. They got huge platforms. Okay, mostly Hassan does a lot of politics. Asmongold has kind of put his foot into politics a little bit because he does talk a lot about what's going on with the current administration in the United States and how he feels about some of the policies. However, there's a big difference in how they treat their chats. Although there's a lot of freedom in Asmongold's chat to make sarcastic remarks and bad jokes, okay, he does not actually go for personal attacks on individuals of any nature, and he doesn't do doxing, and he doesn't do like threats, okay. Hassan Abi, on the other chance, will not say a word, while even somebody he is interviewing is getting attacked, threatened, called names, doxed in his chat. He won't intervene at all. He's like, I'm not responsible for what they do. And I think that's a bad thing. I think that's a very bad thing. I think
Mm-hmm.
there comes a responsibility with a platform on what you represent. And by allowing that in your chat, you're representing it. I don't think you have to agree with everything that goes on in your chat. Like, people are people, they're going to do what they're going to do. But you have to have some guidelines. Like, I don't tolerate people talking about other people, attacking other people, or not allowing the other side of a conversation. Like, I don't. Like, and everybody knows that in my chat. Like, I have a very small chat because some people just can't abide by that rule. It's so distasteful that they have to actually be respectful, so they won't show up. But still, I feel that responsibility, and I think that's where Law 20 has to be applied, where you got to get off that fence and make a gesture when it comes to integrity and fortitude in the things that are all acceptable to you, when you are actually in control of that platform, when it's your platform. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're not talking about Hassan being in a room with a whole bunch of people. We're talking about Hassan's dedicated platform where he's putting out a message on a daily basis, and that chat is adjacent to it. And so, therefore, in my humble opinion, that chat is part of the message. You see what I mean?
And that taser is a part of the dog, allegedly.
Oh, but allegedly. Oh my God. Okay. All right. So that's where the law has to be a little more flexible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then when two YouTube channels are fighting, like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Popcorn. Popcorn is always the answer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's yeah. I mean,
Actually, I've just decided that there is an excellent way to use this rule, to be able to utilize this rule.
uh-huh.
Before making any decision between one or another person, eat a bag of popcorn, and if by the end of that bag of popcorn you you haven't made a decision, just eat another bag of popcorn and keep
Just
eating
take time.
popcorn until you've decided. There.
There you go. It's the popcorn rule. You are
Yep.
obsessed with
I'm gonna
popcorn
call
today.
it. Yep. I'm
I
calling it
have
the
a
popcorn rule.
sneaky suspicion I know exactly what you're going to be doing after stream. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm making banana bread.
And popcorn.
I don't have any popcorn.
Yeah, I know
get
where
some
you're going to
popcorn.
get the popcorn. Yeah, I know. I'm
Yeah,
using
I'm
my
probably gonna get some popcorn.
uh-huh. I would guarantee that you probably are. Okay, so what practical criteria would you use to decide when to stay non-committal versus when to finally pick a side?
Popcorn.
Justine.
Popcorn.
Fairness.
Tell me I'm
No.
wrong. Popcorn.
Look, popcorn is not a practical criteria.
It absolutely is. One, you get to open it up. Two, you get to eat it.
What you mean is take time to decide. So your answer is really take time to consider.
I mean, take time to
So
consider.
your
Eat
practical
popcorn.
criteria is time. My practical criteria is fairness and information.
Yes. I mean, you could do what you do as well. There's less popcorn involved, but you know.
Yeah, there is less popcorn involved. Like, yeah, I love popcorn, but I'm not going to make it my rule that I have to have popcorn every time I make a decision. I will be 900 pounds.
But you would have had popcorn. It's hard to argue with it, I know.
Mrs. Cassandra, do you see what I have to deal with? Like, I have no idea what to do with this. Okay. All right. Could you read the next question, maybe?
Okay. How do you balance Law 20 with Law 11? Make people dependent on you. which both require some form of commitment.
Oh, law 11 does require commitment. It's very, I guess, just based on making it subjective to the situation. How much commitment and when to commit. Timing is everything.
Actually, it's a really good it's a really good thought. Like it's I Law 11's more having other people commit to you
Mm-hmm.
rather than you committing to them. But in the same instance, you kind of have to commit to being in control of them in a way.
I guess so, but it's also hypocritical to say
Mm-hmm.
that others can be committed to you, but you're not going to commit to anyone.
Exactly.
It's gosh forbid they find out. It's not going to
Mm-hmm.
work out too good. Yeah.
Nope.
Which kind of leads into the next one. What are the long-term costs of being known as someone who never fully commits? Do you eventually lose access to deeper, more powerful alliances? I would say hands down, absolutely. Um, Especially if you are even known for this. If you're known for any of these laws that use manipulation or anything like that, you're going to lose access to large amounts of people. There are people who do make their decisions on integrity still. Yes, even in the business world, don't be shocked. Yes, they exist. There
Mm-hmm.
are some. Okay, not everybody's cutthroat and ruthless and dog eat dog. Okay, sometimes in making a business deal, it matters how they got there. Sometimes the long term effects and whether it is can sustain all the changes that are going to come are in how you got there. And like I said with the road thing, once you go up that road and you travel this path, eventually you have to go down that same road and meet all those same people in all those same situations. And how you handled it is going to matter. What you did about it, who you walked on, who you betrayed, who you stabbed in the back, who you just didn't pay attention to, who you just casually insulted. And then now they're the president of the company you want to sell your new greatest idea to. Like, uh oh.
Yep.
That's why Law 20 is really important. If you don't make any of those commitments, you could be chasing a dream you'll never acquire. Because, if you are known to be non committal, non dependable, with non commitment comes, I can't depend on you. I don't know what you're going to do. You got no track record here. Right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't be depended on, you're just going to be seen as flaky.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's,
what were you going to
it's
say?
especially if you give the impression that you are on board with an idea or a project, but you personally haven't committed to it yourself, but you're letting everybody else think you have, and then you walk away.
Mm-hmm.
Once that gets known out there, where's trust? Who's going to put you in a position to do that again?
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So it's dangerous. It can be dangerous. I think it has its practical uses. Like I say, it's staying out of arguments, not weighing in where it's not necessary, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Um, but it's subjective, you know. Because sometimes when you don't weigh in and give an opinion, people just automatically assume you don't have one.
Yep. Or that,
Just be-
or, or what I find is that people assume the worst.
right.
Oh, you don't have an opinion on this? Oh, you clearly must like.
Yeah. They'll make it for you. Yes, if you that
Yeah.
goes along with the thing. If you leave too many blanks, people will fill them in for you, and it's not really pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a good idea. Yeah, you got to give them just enough information. But it doesn't mean you have to like I said, you don't have to beat the drum and raise the banners. You can be reasonable about it. There's usually a little
Exactly.
give and take. Well, just the important part is fairness in knowing all the information. You know, making sure you know the situation you're in. That goes right back to rule in the 50th rule about reading the room, knowing the players, knowing what the
Mm-hmm.
situation is. How can any decisions be made without all of that? Like, because it's all situational, it's all subjective to all of those variables. Like how you started this stream with the trolley question.
Mm-hmm.
It's the variables that make it difficult for me.
I still think it's easy.
Wait, that's why I said you'd make a great ruler.
Me a ruler? No.
If you're able to stick with a decision like solid like that for the greater good, I mean, that's an amazing thing.
I guess so.
Mm. Huh. Well, all right, let me just bring us to the last part of this, the reversal. In Green's words from the book, both parts of this law will turn against you if you take it too far. The game proposed here is delicate and difficult. If you play too many parties against one another, they will see through the maneuver and will gang up on you. If you keep your growing number of suitors waiting too long, you will inspire not desire, but distrust. People will start to lose interest. Eventually, you may find it worthwhile to commit to one side, if only for appearances, to prove you are capable of attachment. Even then, however, the key will be to remain your inner independence, to maintain your inner independence, to keep yourself from getting emotionally involved. Preserve the unspoken option of being able to leave at any moment and reclaim your freedom if the side you are allied with starts to collapse. The friends you made while you were being courted will give you plenty of places to go once you jump ship. Hmm. They all make it, he always makes it sound so smarmy. Like,
Yeah.
it's
And
like,
like it's meant to be really easy.
yeah, we're just wrapping up, but it's good to see you. I hope you'll catch the replay because this one was a little entertaining, if I say so myself. We got a little off track, but it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone I'd rather get off track with, Rekkr, you definitely made it interesting. You definitely made it interesting, indeed. Oh,
I do my best.
but that was our breakdown of Law 20 from the 48 Laws by Robert Greene. And well, I do hope that we will get some comments on it. I'd love to hear people answers to some of the questions, or you know for how they feel that this law could be used, not just in business world or for endeavors with groups and personal gain, but also in our private lives, in our actual real life relationships on a day-to-day basis, which I think that's when it gets pretty dicey, actually. Because even I can't say you would never use it.
I think we've probably all used it at points in time.
Hmm.
I mean, there are points in time where it's necessary to use it.
Hmm. Yeah, totally agree with that. Mhm. I think I think that about wraps it up for us. What do we got going on for next week there, Rick?
What is next week? Let us see. What do we have for next week? We have Lore 21, which is play a sucker to catch a sucker. Seem dumber than you are. Your spelling. Who decided someone didn't want to spell? If I was going to read it properly, it says seem dumber than your.
Mark.
Why did I read that as R? Why did I read Mark as R?
I don't know, but I hear you. I get you.
Seem dumber than your Mark.
Yes.
I'm just having a blonde moment.
Sometimes letting the people know everything that you know is not a good idea. So I think I'm going to have fun with this one. I think I might be on board with this one a little bit. We'll see where we can go for it. I do thank everyone who was in the chat and helped us, like keeping us entertained and amused and going along with us. For those of you watching afterwards or who are watching, I hope that you will comment, let us know, answer some of the questions or let us know how you feel about it or if you have anything to say. We answer every comment, don't we, Rick? Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have to be just positive. If you got something negative to say, feel free. We're not going to eliminate you. I will let you know.
I love negative. I love negative questions or negative comments. Those are always the most fun.
Oh, then you would love last night. I got like, who peed in my milk was one of the comments. I thought that was like, yeah, that was like something. But yeah, but we answer. I didn't delete it. There is a hold. I have a situation with some really nasty bots right now. So comments are held at first, but you're not blocked, and the comments do get released as long as you're not a bot and putting spam links in there or to really nasty places that like YouTube doesn't like. So rather than have my channel taken down, like that was the solution YouTube offered. Now I'm all for it. But I do put them all out. If you're a real person and not a link dropping bot, your comment will get out there, so you're not blocked. I do get that question a couple of times, so I just wanted to put that out there. So, what do you got going on this week?
Me? I'm still on break, which is nice. In my immediate future, I'm going to make some banana bread. Yep. I'm going to make some white chocolate banana bread, actually.
Oh.
Caramelized white chocolate.
Oh, that sounds really good. And I feel very jealous right now. I like my caramelized white chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
I need my chocolate supply. Yep. I'm not sure. And some confit, garlic confit. Yeah.
Yes.
Here's a question for you.
Will Rekkr be joining panel for Monday?
Mayhem Monday.
Yeah. I might have to. We'll see how it goes.
We're going to be reviewing that. Thank you for bringing that up. You're an excellent mod there, Mrs. Cassandra. We're going to be having a little fun on Monday. We're going to be doing an open panel. So those that want to join, just let me know. We're going to be talking about the week in anything you want. Entertainment, music, whatever. Just crazy stories, weird things. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff. And since it's the first one of the year, it will be, talking about like all of the people that, like some of the people that we lost for the year, some of the great things that happened, Well, it's meant to be a review show, an entertaining review show, full of sarcasm in that, like regular Mayhem style, Like, you don't need to behave, Rekkr, so like I do hope you'll join us.
Excellent.
I'm sure Mrs. Cassandra would love it if you do. Yeah.
And by the way, if anyone's been wondering why they've been hearing what they think is either a bird or a smoke alarm, it's not a smoke alarm. It's actually a bird. I'm looking after a bird right now, and it does tweet.
Yes, he's a good bird dad. Yeah, that's because they're held, Jester. and also because we're live, they'll be as soon as we're done being live. I think comments can go on, but I'll double check that. They're just held. They're not off. I will go and double check that for you though. Because I do hope you guys make comments, and I don't know why it would say it's off unless it has something to do because we haven't ended the stream yet.
Probably.
I don't know. Yeah, because I know the standard setting is held. It's just the permanent center right now. But I'm glad you were here. Nate, I think we'll wrap it up. What do you say? And we'll put that outro on and see everybody next week. And if you'd like to join us on Monday, it'll be here on my channel. I believe it's 8 o'clock. I'm pretty sure it's 8 o'clock, but I'll have to double check that. But it is already up. It's on the channel. So hope people will join us for a little bit of fun. We had so much fun doing the marathon. It kind of sparked me to get back in touch and just doing crazy stuff with people. Just talking about whatever. It was a lot of fun, and I did enjoy it. Kind of missed it.
It was very nice, wasn't it?
Mrs. Cassandra said the stream's already being held because Claire talk politics. Yeah, that's standard. I mean, I have to email YouTube every day. Almost everything I put up. You wouldn't believe the battle about the one I just put up about the daycare. Like that was, they were trying to tell me that my thumbnail was clickbait. I had to change it. I had to change all the titles on it. Like, yeah. Didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you all have a good night. And we'll see you really soon. We'll definitely be back next week. Same time, same day, same
day,
channel,
same place.
In all these platforms. If you'd like to watch Rekkr doing his music practice during the week, the link is down below for his Twitch channel and he's there just about every day. I think it's around 6 o'clock Eastern. It's around noon his time in New Zealand. So
yep.
On that, I'm gonna put. You got any last words?
If a bird in the hand counts as two in the bush, don't try and take two birds out with one stone.
Well, there you go. On that, I'm just gonna play the outro. We'll see you all next week. Good night.